Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Soldier Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant McPherson, and on this show we discuss military topics with current and prior service members. Today we're gonna be back in AR 735-5. So last video we went over uh the implementation procedures for the CSDP. So today we're gonna go over chapter 12 of 735-5. We're going to be talking about methods of obtaining relief from responsibility for property. Okay. So, general actions to protect government property, administrative actions, which is 12-1. Administrative measures available to commander to ensure enforcement of property accountability. When property becomes lost or damaged, use one of the adjustment methods discussed in this regulation. The methods discussed below are designed to protect the right of the government to obtain reimbursement for the loss or damage of government property. These methods are material accounting oriented and are appropriate for nor intended to be used as corrective action or punishment when negligence or willful misconduct is known or suspected to have contributed to the loss or damage of the government property. Do not constitute a punishment, do not and will not preclude the use of adverse administration or disciplinary measures. Commanders at all levels who determine that cause of loss or damage warrants adverse administration or disciplinary action will take appropriate action. These actions include, but are not limited to, an oral or written reprimand. So I'm gonna repeat that. So it says commanders at all levels who determine that cause of loss or damage warrants adverse administrative or disciplinary action will take appropriate action. Okay, so anybody with lost or damaged government property, the commander has the authority to uh, warrant adverse administrative or disciplinary action to you. So that could be an oral or written reprimand, appropriate remarks in officers, non-commissioned officers, and civilians evaluation reports. So they can put that in your NCOER. MOS reclassification. They can tell you to reclass or bar to reenlistment or action under UCMJ. Army National Guard members who are not in federal service are not subject to the UCMJ. They are subject to military code of their states. Adverse actions against civilian personnel are as authorized. Reporting requirements. Person responsible for government property will immediately report in writing all losses or damage to their immediate supervisor or commander. The report will state the circumstances of the loss or damage and listing and description of the property involved. When reporting personal arms and equipment, according to AR 190-11 or whenever the loss appears involve unlawful conduct, report incident to military law enforcement authorities for investigation. Personal arms and personal equipment are the weapons and equipment assigned to soldiers for their use. This includes a soldier OCIE issued to them. A preliminary investigation by the military or security police will assist the commander when taking action according to this regulation. Losses of equipment with sensitive or classified components or technology must be reported through local S2 and supporting counterintelligence within 24 hours to determine potential compromise by foreign powers. So that's sensitive items. So you lose sensitive items, you got to report that to test 2. Within 24 hours. Cosmic CHVP or CCI losses require incident report per TB 380-41, respectively. Report USR, United States Army Reserve element losses or damages incurred to the next higher U.S. Army Reserve Command, and if appropriate to the active Army law enforcement activity or provost marshal having area responsibility. When government property is reported missing, commanders at all levels, primary heresy holder, or the accountable officer will initiate a preliminary investigation or a search to be conducted and ensure the missing property is actually missing before an adjustment document in paragraph is initiated, aka a flipper. So the commander, uh, uh, it says commanders at all levels, primary heresy holders, or the accountable officer will initiate a preliminary investigation and search for the conducting missing property before the flipper is initiated. The preliminary search will be aggressively pursued to meet the time limits in paragraph 3-8. So we talked about the time limits. I say at least 5 days before you initiate the flipper. In cases when when a unit reports the loss, damage, or destruction of class 6 items with a recoverable code D, which is durable, a recoverability code of D, F, or H. Okay, so a copy of documentation used to investigate the incident will be provided to the SSA accountable officer. A completed DD Form 200, 200 blocks 1 through 14 does not have to be submitted. When government property in the hands of a contractor is lost or damaged, FAR government property clause will be followed, and if a DD Form 200 will be initiated, and if necessary, a DD Form 200 will be initiated. When reporting government property damage or missing incidental to shipment by common or contract carrier, the consignee, accountable officer, or transportation officer will initiate either a DA Form 361 or SF 364 as appropriate in accordance with Chapter 16 of this regulation. Individuals are responsible for proper care, custody, and safeguarding of all OCIE issued to them in accordance with AR 17-2. Theft, loss, suspected theft, unaccounted or recovered arms, ammunition, and explosive require incident report in accordance with AR 190-11 and this regulation. So any suspected theft, you want to have a police report for it. And I also want to go back to what they were saying about in cases when a unit reports the loss and damage of the construction. I want to say this. Hold on one second. Okay, so that's class 9. So any loss, if the unit report any loss or destruction of class 9, let me see. And it says recoverability with a recoverability code of D, F, or H. I'm just gonna look at the recoverability codes real quick, because the recoverability codes falls under maintenance, since they are talking about class 9, and I'm not too familiar with the recoverability codes as far as maintenance. So you guys, when you guys get a chance, make sure you look up the recoverability codes for maintenance or class 9. And it says it requires a copy of the documentation used to investigate the incident will be provided to the SSA accountable officer for class 9. So back down where I was at. Uh so administrative action to be taken of causes of other than fair wear and tear. When DA property becomes lost or damaged by causes of other than fair wear and tear, take administrative action according to this regulation, regardless of the ARC assigned to the property. This action will determine the facts concerning the incident and amount of the loss to the government, assess financial liability if appropriate, or provide relief from responsibility and accountability. Obtain relief from property responsibility by following actions. DD Form 362, cash sale provisions, a flipper, board action, abandonment order, memorandum to adjust losses of OCIE due to contamination, damage statement, lateral investigation for aircraft accidents used in conjunction with the flipper, memorandum to adjust losses of durable hand tools and components, memorandum to adjust losses of durable and expendable items, memorandum for record to adjust non-expendable items, DA Form 444, which is an inventory adjustment report, DA Form 4170, statement of gains and losses, DA Form 364, also referred to as a report of discrepancy, and a DD Form 361. So these are the relief from property responsibility by the following actions. So you lose some property, the commander does have the authority to make you reclass, UCMJ action, make you pay for it, all these things. So that's anything other than fair wear and tear is damage to it. So regardless of the method of accounting for property lost, damaged, or destroyed, title ownership of the property remains with the government. Assign a document or voucher number to property adjustment documents per the following instructions. Okay, so assign a document number, voucher number. So this is as far as the property book level. So non-expendable property, assign a document number from the non-expendable document registered to any adjustment document that lists non-expendable property or any property which requires property book accountability. Expendable or durable property, assign a document number from the expendable durable document register to those adjustment documents, listing only expendable or durable items which do not require property book accountability. So when you're doing this, you want to have it's either the UIC, it won't be the class 7 DODAC, it would be the class 2 DODAC. I want to say it's a class 2 or whatever the class is, what type of property that is. If it's expendable or durable, you want to look at what class it falls under. Do a class falls under class 2, class whatever class of supply that falls under. You want to put that DODAC on there, and you want to put today's date. You want to put the hold on. Because that's how you assign the document to whatever piece of equipment you're doing. Hold on. If I can think of the dates. I can't think of the dates for nothing. But it'll be this 4-digit number. I can't think of the name of it right now. So that 4-digit number is 001. So that's how you're gonna initiate. That's the document you're gonna assign to that property, which is not on the property book. Okay, so non-expendable, expendable, or durable items, stock record activity level, assign a voucher from a stock record activity voucher register to any document prescribed in 12-1-C. That lists supply system stocks. Damaged property when processing for damaged end items. Do not assign a document number to DD Form 200 or DD Form 362. This chapter outlines the authorized adjustment documents when individuals admit liability, agrees to voluntary repayment, and the value of the property is not more than 1 month's base pay. Decision tables developed to help individuals determine which document to use to obtain relief from property responsibility are tables 12-1 and 12-2. Figures 12-1 through 12-3 show the process for determining which document to use for the transaction. This regulation applies to relief actions for special military intelligence operation and property losses. Okay. So there you guys go. And table 12-1 is going to tell you everything you need for which forms you need for which adverse action. So I'm just going to go through a couple of them for the damaged property. If you got OCIE and there is no negligence, that'll be a memorandum to CIF. If the commander find that that soldier does not need to pay for it, it's going to be a memorandum to CIF. Damaged property, no negligence involved. Damage statement prepared as a memorandum. That's probably going to go. This depends on what it is. Any item that person admits to liability and amount is less than 1 month's base pay will be a statement of charges. Any item and the person admits to liability and amount is more than 1 month's base pay would be a flipper. Any item a person does not admit to negligence or liability, period, it's gonna be a flipper. So that's what it is. So if they don't sign that 362, you're gonna move on with the flipper. So yeah, this the chart is in 12-2, 735-5. It explains what you guys have to do. Just go through it on different situations. And let me know if you guys got any questions. Again, I cannot think of those dates, the army dates. What's the name of them? Julian date. Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. The Julian date. So write that document number that's not on the property book. Julian date is gonna be the whatever that class that DODEC is, the Julian date is 00-1. Okay, make sure you guys like the video. This has been another episode of Soldier Talk the Podcast, and I'll see you guys in formation.